Perfect date.
Yeah.
Somebody say it. Somebody say what you're supposed to say.
A walk on the beach.
Oh, I was going for Miss Congeniality.
Was it?
I think it's April 21st.
Yeah, something like that. So we are live, I think. Let's make sure we exited host.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, so hello, Internet. Hopefully, by the way, people in the chat, let us know how my audio versus the girls' audio versus the background music is, if that comes out okay. If something needs to be adjusted, let me know, and I'll switch it on the fly. So anyway, welcome to a not official Belladonna's stream, but still official. Holiday weekend, so if you guys are spending your holiday, your last day of, if you're on Labor Day here over in America and you're on holiday, thank you for spending your time with us. If you're not, and you're watching this on YouTube, obviously we understand, because holiday weekend, and due to holiday stuff, Laura is not here with us, so we'll be back in 2 weeks' time with a full-blown, I should put that in the front, with a full-blown true Belladonna stream where we'll pick back up and won't have to worry about, trying to split the party as well as try to divvy up different roles to different people. So, what we're going to do tonight, it's going to be fun and kind of loosey-goosey here. We're not going to, there's no, strict rules. We'll take questions from you guys in the chat. You can ask, about the game, and if it's something that we or the players want to divulge, they'll tell you the answer, or they'll just say, sorry, we'll let that play out on the stream. If you have questions about us, about whatever, we're going to reserve whether or not we answer those questions, but you can still try and ask them, and we'll just kind of go there. I have some questions I'm going to ask the ladies as well, but obviously you guys throw out what you want. So, first of all, Labor Day weekend, how's everybody doing? I guess we'll start, because we'll go this way, so it'll go Liz, Light, Katie, because that's sort of clockwise on the map. So how's your holiday weekend? You're in a new place and everything, but Liz, how's your Labor Day holiday?
Pretty good. I've been just doing work and reading articles all weekend, but I can't complain. I finally unpacked.
But not enough to get your desktop out.
I was surrounded by boxes. No, I kind of just moved all the boxes somewhere else. Oh, and also the movers broke my entertainment center, so I can't put together my computer setup.
You get paid for that, insurance?
I have to file a claim, which I haven't done because I'm a piece of shit.
Wow. All right.
I don't ever do stuff like that. I don't care. No, but I will. They owe me money.
Okay. All right. So, Light, how about you?
I've actually been working all weekend. Yeah, trying to stay cool because California's on fire, legit.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's what basically it's just been doing. Just that.
Cool.
Playing games.
Any games specifically?
Actually, I've been playing a little bit of Rust. A couple of people. So that's different. I'm gonna try out Clan and Ark again, maybe.
Because it's out officially.
Yeah, which is weird, but oh well. I mean, I thought it's weird in my opinion because it went from alpha to out. I don't remember it ever being in beta, but we'll see.
All right, and last but certainly not least, Katie. /pop /baby spice, apparently. I put everybody, there's clever names. Light, you didn't give me one, but there wasn't really a discussion of that. So if you want me to
No, because you just moved over. Nope, done.
Fine.
Can't forgive you.
You want...
Bye.
Well, wow. All right, fine. That's how it is then. You want a name, you message me and I'll put it in there for you.
Oh, it's okay.
Listen, some people say they need to have a hotter name, like Veronica. So, that's what it says. Anyway.
Just put Luxy Poo.
I can do that. Go ahead and, how about you, Katie? How's your Labor Day?
It's been good. I haven't been doing much. I went downtown in my area for a bit. Went to really good restaurant, and very late to the game started playing Fallout 4 and then finished it really, really quickly because I just get out of control when I start playing new games. So, you know, with that, you know, just the usual Fallout 4 stuff. Killed my son, you know.
As you do.
As you do. But yeah, it's been pretty relaxing. Not much. Just had to work for like 5 hours today and took one phone call, so life's good.
All right, sweet. Yeah, I don't have much to say here. Actually, I lied. I'm a total liar. My pants on fire right now. Because Saturday was my 5-year wedding anniversary. So, been married to Claire for 5 years. And she is the best wife ever. But she did... Before I wake up, right? She's gone. Wesley's gone. I go downstairs. Because I'm a piece of shit, I go and, like, sit and start, like, working on stuff on my computer. And, like, the whole night before, I wasn't allowed to go anywhere else in the house. Like, she's like, don't go anywhere. You can't see anything. You have plans for you. Don't make any plans for Saturday. So eventually, I walk into the kitchen, and there is, like, this long rhetoric text in a Zelda font that basically has, like, there's a new Zelda t-shirt, like, a Link hat, and, like, a backpack with hearts on it. Like, 2 filled hearts and 3 empty hearts. And it's basically, like, I've got to go rescue young Link, so that it would be Wesley, from, like, Ganondorf, right? And I gotta find Zelda, and this whole thing is all part of what I have to do. So I have a clue of where to go. So I go find out in the tree, there's a Master Sword and a Hylian Shield and a new clue that's, like, I know, like, something about the lines, like, you're probably hungry, like, follow the sunrise to your, you know, death. So then I drive to the bagel place called Sunrise Bagels, and then my sister is there with a backpack, and she's got the next clue, and then we drive all around to all these places. And we're talking, like, stores where there's clues hidden in, like, the store. Like, in a Legend of Zelda strategy guide in Barnes & Noble is the next clue. And then it's, like, in Toys R Us, and then Spirit Halloween, and, like, we're going all over the place, right? Then I have to go to, like, a grocery store, and I have to make a bouquet of flowers using different, like, word text, like, text clues that comes up to a certain dollar amount that's put in one of the things. So I get all these things, and I hate going to this grocery store, so I got the Triforce of Courage for going to the grocery store, and then I run back to the house, and then, there's like a fishing pole and like a bunch of fish with magnets that I have to rescue, catch the fish, which gives me rupees. One of them gave me a potion. Then I have to run inside, and there's all stuff to set out to make a pie, and I have to, like, put the pie together and then put the pie in the oven. Then I have to go, like, trim the hedges with a hedge trimmer, and there's rupees in all the hedges, right? So then I leave from there with my sister to a virtual archery range, where then we have an archery competition. Where then I win and I get a key. So then I have to drive back to my house to use the key to open the box that gets me the key to get to the Ocarina of Time, and I have that. Then I have to use a bomb to break into the garage, where she's assaulting me with balloons filled with glow sticks, and I have a sword with my Master Sword, I realize now, has a thumbtack on the end, so I'm popping the balloons. I have to beat her, who's the boss. That gives me the final clue. To then I drive over to where my son is being held captive by my mother-in-law. I have to play a song on the ocarina to beat him. To then get a chest with a mini Link figure in it, throw this pixie dust on it so it grows to a full-size Link, and then realize that all of the clues that I've got, if you piece them all together on the back, it's a map. That if you then follow the map across the river to where we got married, she's waiting for me over there to then go out to dinner. So that was my weekend.
I've never put that much effort into anything I've ever done in my life, to be honest with you. Kudos to the cookie baking angel.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Turns out she baked all of the rupee and heart cookies while I was at Gen Con and then froze them.
That's awesome.
So, anyway, that was a long, drawn-out response to what I did this weekend. But hello to Star Fox in a Box. Thank you for the follow, and everybody here chatting as well. Let's see. We are accepting questions from you guys in the chat, so we can go ahead and accept you know, whenever you guys want to throw out questions about anything, gaming related or otherwise, we can do that. So I am gonna start with I'll start with my questions. You guys jump in as you go. Again, same order. So Liz, we've been playing D&D here, so let's start with tabletop gaming. What's your experience / when did you get started with tabletop gaming and any of that kind of stuff?
I have very little to no experience. But I started, what was it called? It was like 4 girls, 1 dungeon.
So that's here on the channel, on our channel.
Yeah.
That was the first time.
That was the first time I ever played, and it was awesome. And most of these girls were there in that game, which was super fun. And I loved playing with them. So that's why I really wanted to be in this game.
Okay, well that answers that. Light, how about you? When did you get started in tabletop, role-playing, that kind of stuff?
I think the first time I had to have been at least 7 years ago. When my friend Herrick and his brother said, "Hey, you should try this out. There's a game called D&D or Dungeons and Dragons. It's about because I used to play WoW, and so I read it, and the druid and everything. Played one game with them. Of course, it was awkward because it was face to face with people. They're like, "Get into it," and I go, "I can't." But yeah, that was a pretty cool experience. And then years later, got into play with Ted with Roll for Roll and Kugo and Rosera and everything, and loved it ever since.
Yeah, all right. So that answers that. And Katie, what about you?
I've been playing for about 5 years. Laura got me into it, actually. I just come back from college, and I was like, I need a hobby. And she's like, I've got a hobby. And I'm like, cool. So I started, and I'm like a really awkward person when I'm like in front of people. Like, I have a really hard time having conversations with them, but I'm surprisingly better than I was before by a lot, which is alarming because I still suck. But I just remember my first game, I went up to just like some random person because nobody was going to approach this group of people to ask them a question. I was like, all right, so I'll go up to them and I'll ask them what's going on with this. And they were like, okay, but what do you say? And I was like, I just like started stuttering like a moron and was like, oh god, good thing I rolled like shit for my stats because charisma's not high and I can just ride on that. But yeah, that was my first time, and we didn't actually play that long in that game, but then later on I ended up getting more involved in internet games, and I've met Ted, and here we are.
All right, and then again, I'll just throw out my piece. I got started in 2004 with a game with some friends in high school. We made characters on lunch break. Nobody told. I mean, if you want to go way back to the way things were, my DM. So nobody like told me that like when you roll stats, you're supposed to roll 4d6. So I rolled a d20 for all of my stats, but I started with 218s, so I wasn't complaining. But yeah, we made our characters in lunch and in the library, and then we gave them all to the DM, who then we were going to go play. He forgot them. So we had to make up our characters from memory in a library, in an actual library, not the high school library. And then we got yelled at and kicked out because we were too loud in the library. So we went to somebody else's house. And yeah, I've been doing that pretty much ever since. So we had a couple questions in the chat. Katie, who did you side with as far as Fallout 4 goes? Mud Puppy wants to know.
Okay, I sided with the Railroad. No regrets there. But I didn't really hang out with Deacon that much because he's just a lying shit. So that's who I went with. I rode that out. Destroyed Brotherhood of Steel. I talked to each group before I made my decision because that's just the kind of person I am. And that ultimately, I thought that one was the coolest. So,
RC Guy wants to know what I got Claire for our anniversary. So I made a really nice card where I did a bunch of art that had a lot of avatar-based themes on it. I then 3D printed and painted, the Katara's necklace. That's like the betrothal necklace. I did that. I 3D printed a bunch of cookie cutters, and she loves cookie cutters, and I now have the ability to make my own. And I wrote several, was it 2 years ago? 3 years ago on Christmas, I made a book that I gold leafed the whole thing of fairy tales that I dubbed Clary Tales, because I'm creative, with home-written fairy tale bedtime story things. And I wrote an additional 5 of those, although one is not so much a fairy tale as it's basically either turned into a novel or my next D&D campaign, as I've wrote about 3 chapters and I'm nowhere near resolving the story. So that was what I got her. I think we had a couple. RC Guy's causing trouble, and Light says, where's the face cam? Then follows that up with Katie, who's the better DM here, because he's causing trouble. So, I'm just gonna, you guys can answer those if you'd like to.
I'm the best DM.
Well, they weren't expecting that, were you?
Have a ninja?
Yeah, that is what we've often heard, so.
Yep.
Okay. So, those are, alright, so next up we asked, so we did touch on video games a little bit, so how about I throw one of the hardest questions for a lot of people. So, Liz, what's your favorite video game?
Ooh, that is.
On the spot. Let's do it.
I don't know. I think I have to say Skyrim. That's like the game I put the most hours and just love into. I can't play it, especially right now, because I'll drop out of grad school, so I have to restrict it.
All right, Light, what about you?
Oh, that's way too many.
just give me one. Just throw out what I mean. Liz is clearly her most time-consuming game. So, what about you? Do you have a quintessential favorite game? I know that's a big question as someone who games on a lot of different platforms and for a long time, but
yeah, let's just say, probably gonna show my fucking age. Excuse my French. Nintendo.
Just anything.
All the way to now.
Okay, yeah.
I would have to say, you know what? I would have to agree with Liz. It's Skyrim.
Really?
Yeah. I could throw out a whole bunch of other games, but Skyrim right now, it's the community on it. Because I'm a mod queen. I modded that thing. I had over 300 mods on it. Did it finally die? Yes. Now this is the kicker. I never completed it. I think I got 500 hours in. Because I keep adding mods, and it's just a gorgeous, beautiful game. And I know you could do that to Fallout also, and other games that they have created, but Skyrim is there for me. I love it.
All right. Katie, you have the benefit of being the third person, so you get to know what's coming. Liz is put right on the spot. So what about you? Favorite video game?
Probably Dragon Age, because really any of the BioWare games, I like that they're the only games where the shit you choose actually ends up mattering at the end, because even with Witcher, I really like that game too, but in the end you're still going to get the same cutscenes and everything, so I really like that about it, and I like that I get to be exactly who I want my character to be, essentially, which is kind of what I like about D&D too, so.
Which Dragon Age do you have a favorite, or just the series in general?
I actually,
Let's just
because
say
I
even
only
Dragon Age 2.
recently gotten into video games like a few years ago, so I've only played Inquisition.
Okay. Go back and Origins is going to be a little bit of a switch up as far as combat goes, but I still will say hands down. I mean, fight me, internet. Dragon Age Origins, best Dragon Age game. So, okay, RC guy, we'll come back to that question. My favorite video game of all time, Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time, no question. Moving on. So RC guy said non-story based game. We'll come back to that because Light, you sparked something with me. So Liz, what's the first video game you ever beat? Because we know that Light hasn't beaten Skyrim, so that's.
Well, I didn't beat Skyrim.
Well, that's fine. But which one's the first game you ever beat?
I just live there sometimes. First game I ever beat was actually Assassin's Creed 1, I think. And I was really into the early Assassin's Creed. Now I don't play it anymore because it just got bad. But the first one and the second and some of the follow-ups to the second were my shit.
Okay. Light. I'll show my age on mine, so don't feel bad.
Yeah, I would have to say Super Mario.
The original, like
Yeah.
All right, nice. Listen, back in the day, that was a feat if you managed to get World like 8-2. Come on, that's no joke. I'm kudos, my friend.
Yeah. I remember when we got that game, because it was like Super Mario and Duck Hunt, and then whatever else came. But it was Super Mario that, as a kid, I beat it, because it was like one of those things. It's like, oh, you finally found out the little secrets, and you do all that stuff, and then all of a sudden you get the princess in the castle, and it was like one of those things. It was like, this is pretty cool. And then, of course, all the Super Mario Brothers I've beaten. One that I almost didn't because it was the Super Mario Brothers RPG.
Oh, such a good game. I love that game.
It's such a good game. If they ever bring that, yeah, that one is such, because it's like one of those things. That one, I think it opened more paths to different games that you see out there, because it's like more puzzles and more things that you have to think of. And I remember going to bed and going, shit, I need to do that. So so the Super Mario Brothers was right there.
Well, I would tell you, Super Mario RPG was the first RPG I ever played. Also, the first game I ever returned late to Blockbuster because I was like, I gotta keep playing this game. Like, wow, we talk about showing your age. Yeah. New kids don't even know what that is anymore.
Well, right? Oh, we still have it.
I know. I have actually a bunch of my N64 games still have the Blockbuster sticker on them because I bought them from Blockbuster. So, Katie, how about you? First game you ever beat?
Pokemon Gold.
Not bad. All right. Nice. Which, by the way, those of you 3DS owners, in 18 days, it will be available on the eShop to download and play on your 3DS. And it will trade up via Pokemon Box to Pokemon Gold or Sun and Moon, and then Ultra Sun and Moon will be out the same day. So,
holy shit! See you guys later.
Yeah, for real. I will be right there with you. You want to trade? Hit me up because I'm jumping right back into Pokemon Silver, and I'll get Silver, so we'll be good.
Sounds good.
All right, first game I ever beat. See if anybody here even knows this. Light, you may have my back on this. Rampage for the original Nintendo. The game where you play as a giant lizard or a giant iguana, and you beat up buildings and crush and ruin buildings all over the United States. First game I ever beat. So that be interesting to see how many people remember that game. There were sequels, several sequels, even I think all the way up to the Nintendo 64. But there you go.
Yeah.
All right. Wow. So that. Showing my age on that one. Anyway, let's see. We get any questions in? All right. So back to RC guy. So Liz, favorite non-story based game? Not like an RPG, Skyrim, Dragon Age, things of that nature?
I'd have to say Smite. Germ knows. I love that game.
Yes.
Yeah. It's one of the best I've played. I could play that every day the rest of my life.
See, I try, but I can't keep up with either of them, so I don't play because it's just too disheartening to be like, yeah, 1 kill, and they're like, cool, like, 30 more, and you're where we are.
It is disheartening to play with Germ, that's for sure.
Yeah, there is no sugarcoating of kill stealing from somebody who's just, like, trying to figure out the controls, and he's like, whoop, stole all your kills, sucks to be you, moving on. Alright, Light, what about you? Non-story focused game.
Non-story. I don't know, I think I played, like, all the stories and stuff.
There has to be, like, some game, like, that you can kind of zone out and just play through. You don't have to read the text, or, you just kind of do your own thing.
I'm kind of right there with you. I have an example, but it was from, like, my youth.
That's okay.
Go ahead.
I don't know if you guys all remember this, but this is so long ago, and it were these 2 games. It was either Cats with a Z or Dogs with a Z, or you could get Pets with a Z.
Yes, I remember the game. I never played it, but I know what you're talking about.
I was fucking obsessed. Like, all I would do, I remember, like, you could, like, breed your dogs and have them make, like, a little mixed breed puppy to make the cutest ones, but you had to, like, set the mood. So, like, bitch was throwing, like, heart pillows everywhere, like, treats galore, like, forget about it. Romance was in the air, and I got the cutest dogs. And it was because, like, growing up, my dad was allergic to everything, so I couldn't get a dog or a cat for the longest time. And I am obsessed with animals. Druid, hello. And so that was, like, what my life was until I was finally able to get pets of my own.
All right, Light, we're back to you.
I would have to say, I was just trying to remember, Killer Instinct.
Ooh, good pull. Like you're talking like Super Nintendo or arcade?
Yeah,
or...
I'm talking about the Super Nintendo version. That one I could I zoned out because I love my favorite character, and some of you, not all of you, but I played in WoW a character named Jade, or her name was Jadefire. It was actually based off of the character Jade, because she could be a fire kitty.
Mm-hmm.
And I wish my Druid, now my Druid can, because little seeds, whatever. No, yeah, so basically that's where I got it from, that whole package right there. And, yeah.
Yeah, what the hell is his name? He's the skeleton guy. I'm blanking. He's my go-to. I can't remember. But you know what I'm talking about. The chat will probably catch up to it, but, alright, so I actually was listening, waiting for you guys, and really didn't think too much about this for my favorite non-story-based game. A game that I can pretty much always go back to and play. I have, like, a couple, but it would probably be... I guess you could argue that there's a story to Bubble Bobble for the original Nintendo, but I'm gonna argue that one splash screen of black screen with white text isn't story. So Bubble Bobble is probably my go-to, because I could play that game forever. Eventually you can beat it, but I just love me some Bubble Bobble. Favorite NES game of all time is Bubble Bobble.
I've actually played that one, surprisingly.
All right.
But I stopped when I got to the level that was just, like, way up at the top, like a little bar with the guys running on it. I just could not bubble jump, like,
I will tell you that level as a child, I was stuck on that for so long, because the freaking little laser things they shoot down murdered me. So I walked away from it, and I remember coming back, and, this is something that never happened. My dad and my uncle managed to somehow get past it. Because, I guess after a while, they off-sync, so you can climb up, and they won't shoot straight down. I think somewhere probably in here, mixed with all my other games, I have the code for the level after that one. Like, the password, because it took me that long. So yeah, Bubble Bobble, or any of the Mega Mans, really. The old school Mega Mans are solid. Mega Man X, I guess, probably. But okay, so I'm trying to see. I don't think we have anything left in the chat as far as questions go. Let's see, what other questions do I have for you guys? So Liz, we're gonna again start with you. You know what? Let's bring it back to D&D. I have a couple questions, but some of them I feel like they're not ones that are gonna hit with everybody. So let's start with this. So how about the game that you've played so far, Liz, with everybody here, this current game, what is something that just happened that was completely unexpected, that you didn't see coming, whether it was something that you guys chose to do or an NPC interaction? I mean, you've pretty much only been here for a little while, get more interesting things from the other characters, but I'll ask you as well.
I would have to say the episode in which we had to one by one seduce douchebags in a hotel. That was good. I didn't expect to have to do that, but
to be fair, you didn't have to do that. That's just what you guys chose to do.
It's where shit went.
Yes, I get. Yeah, I'll agree. That was unexpected.
Now I have to come up with another thing.
That was very unexpected.
Okay, so alright, Light, what about you? What's happened so far that was unexpected, that you did not see coming? I mean, you have pretty much everything Ava did was unexpected, but you know.
Yeah, I think I would have to go like when we were when she was catching the tenant.
Okay.
Yeah, and we were still in it. because my point of view, I was thinking to stay in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, either I was gonna stay in it or if I figure out where she was, I probably would have raged. Went up that ladder and tried to get her.
Yeah. Alright, what about you, Katie?
I guess for me, Odella was, because Laura has a particular type that she plays when she plays D&D. Like very like tough, not very ladylike characters that are just super badasses. And then when she comes back with this like, oh, I'm bohemian chic and I have this long flowing hair and my charisma's off the roof and look at my beautiful angel wings, I'm very prim and proper, I was like, huh? So yeah, that was a surprise when I found out what kind of character she was going to be playing next. I was not really expecting that at all from her, so that'd probably be most surprising after the secret, not sexy times that we had, like Liz said.
Alright, so mine, least expected, was probably when you guys literally just almost died and relied on the grace of people donating money to prevent you from dying, that Laura then decided to run into a next room full of enemies and try to take them all on solo. Definitely was not expected.
We don't talk about that. Other than the wonderful generosity of the people who donated, we don't speak of that.
Yeah. Like I said, probably the one moment where I was just like, okay, sure, roll. I guess. Let's see what happens.
It was so hard not to rage quit. Like, if this was a video game, like, keyboard would be on the floor. Like, I'd be downstairs, like, just with a spoon and ice cream, just, like, angry eating.
I do want to add, though, that the most surprising part of the hotel was when Katie became a fucking bear. Like, on top of somebody. That, I'll never forget it.
I was just trying to think of like, the most surprising thing to somebody who thought they were about to get laid.
She was like a little, not very strong.
Yeah, some 5'2" sunburnt girl. I was like, well, what if she turned into a bear and she was on top of him? And I was like, yeah, I'm going with that. Feels right.
You know, like I've said, I joke around a lot about this, but if anybody feels like they really need to do fan art of anything, I figure that whole scene is worth just a fan art, like a comic book of that scene, but also everything else that happens where, you know, Odella's like, nope, don't tell anybody that we have this whole hotel. This is ours. We just got mad at people for not letting us stay here. Don't let anybody else inside. Okay.
I tried. That's all I gotta say.
So our C guy put out there, and again, we'll go again around the order. What's a time period or style of D&D that you'd like to play in? He suggests, like, maybe, you know, the 1800s or steampunk or something of that nature. So again, Liz is someone who's actually relatively new to D&D in general. But you can still, again, speak to this. What's something you think would be cool, time period, genre kind of situation you'd like to play?
That's an interesting question. It didn't really occur to me that it could not be, like, old times.
Mm-hmm.
I tend to love medieval time stuff, like early Middle Ages. I'm, like, obsessed with stuff like that. So that would probably always be my choice. But if you were going to be different, I really like Victorian era stuff. That would be cool. I just didn't know. I guess you could do, like, I don't know, some kind of vampy.
Yeah, I mean, we don't have to necessarily. I mean,
Gothic novel stuff.
He says D&D, but again, there are plenty of other RPGs, specifically, you know, Vampire the Masquerade or Vampire the Requiem or any of the White Wolf RPGs. Especially there's actually a time there, you know, for a lot of those they did time period source books, and one of them was a vampire Victorian one. But again, something that could be done. Light, what about you? Time period for D&D or genre style?
You know what? To be honest, it would have to be steampunk. I love that because it goes into the Victorian era, and or Western. Because I like to be a cowboy.
I hear that.
Which, on a side note, there's supposed to be a Western game coming out that's going to be an MMO. And I can't wait to get into the RP aspect of it, because I play a lot of RP. But yeah, steampunk or Western. Or hell, both. Because they can
be both.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Katie, what about you?
I agree with Liz on the standard D&D setting is typically my favorite. I really like it. I grew up reading Tamora Pierce books, which was exactly like this time period plus a little bit of magic sort of thing. So I like that. But if I had to pick something to play, I really fucking want to play Pugmire. Have you guys heard of that? I need that in my life. Yes. Why aren't we playing that?
It's on. Listen, all right. I have several requests to run the game of this. I have several requests to run My Little Pony, which I have run one game of so far, and it's super easy to play, so that could be done. I need to have time. Like, I need to find time where I can just be like, hey, real life, fuck you, it's time to run another campaign. Like, which, you know, I don't have a ton of free time or nights when I can gather 3 to 5 people to be like, hey, you guys want to play a game that is probably going to be a one-shot, but in my experience, no game is a one-shot. So it will be 2 to 3 games, and then people will be like, I really like that, we should make that a campaign, and I'll be like, cool, but I can't do that. So...
Well, next time that, just, like, give us the information, and then next time that one of us can't play, we should play a game of Pugmire. And we can make our characters.
Okay. It's relatively easy. It is based on 5th edition, so the rules you'll pretty much... It's like 5e light, so it's pretty easy to pick up, and play the game. Mud Puppy, My Little Pony game is phenomenal. It's very, if you like the show or like any of that stuff, it's super great. It's very, very easy. The easiest RPG system I think I've ever played, even easier than like the Buffy the Vampire Slayer cinematic uni system, which I also have a request to run a Buffy the Vampire Slayer game. Yes, Lizzie, but very, very much so. This used to be, over here used to be all My Little Pony stuff, but I ran out of room from all the D&D minis that I bought. So, yeah, it's probably the easiest system. Everything is based on the die. Like, if you're really bad at something, you roll a D4. If you're really good at something, you roll a D20. And that's it. Like, like a super extremely impossible DC on something is 13. Because you don't add anything to it. You just roll and hope you beat it. And if you double whatever the number is, it's an automatic pass. And if you roll a 1 on the die, no, regardless of what it is, even if it's a D4, you automatically fail. So, super easy. But it's also, it's like a cartoon. So things are super, like, goofy. And you're like, oh, and this happens. You know, whatever. So, yeah. Numenera, I've heard fantastic things. Moltar from Space Ghosts. I've heard wonderful things about Numenera. I haven't had a chance to play it. I have a bunch of other RPG systems that are on my docket to go through and review. So those are all things on my list of things to do. But again, I've been working on several other crossovers with other D&D shows that I'm trying to get going, whether it's one-shots. I just did one over on the Venture Maidens channel last week. But, like, it's just hard to sync time for everybody. It's like, I've been trying to get another campaign going when we're not playing. I have one person. Like, that's, like, trying to get people together is complicated. So, things can happen at some point. Speaking of which, I just realized I think I'll talk to you guys after the fact, as well as probably most of the chat, when I think our online 24-hour live stream is happening. I think I have found the date for that. So, be on the lookout, folks. We've got an in-person 24-hour live stream happening on the weekend of the 16th. That's the Saturday to the 17th. We'll be doing Tomb of Annihilation for 24 hours in person behind me here, which is going to be interesting. I've never been locked in a room with Jake, Sean, and Pat for 24 hours, but we're going to see how that goes.
Godspeed.
Yeah, you're going to see towards the end, it's just going to be like, just roll. What am I roll? I don't know. Just roll. It's fine. Great. It'll be great. It'll be great, guys. Okay, so anyway, you guys, again, keep throwing out ideas. RC Guy, you've been on point with your questions to ask so far. So again, other people can throw out ideas and questions that you want to ask about the campaign that we're playing, what's going on, characters. Where are Star Fox in a Box? Where are all the British D&D players? Have you ever come across one? Well, I can ask you guys. Have you ever come across a British D&D player? We'll throw that out there. Just in general. Anybody?
Yeah.
I have friends I could ask.
There's that guy on that one channel that you played the crab game with.
Yeah, Encounter Roleplay is a
British.
British.
Encounter Roleplay.
Yeah, Will from Encounter Roleplay, he's British, and he has several other Brit friends that play as well. I can't think of anybody else. He's the one that jumps to mind. I know there's several others, and I feel like a jerk for not having them like right in my head automatically. But he's the main one that jumps to my mind.
Yeah, I mean, there's
Also,
several of them in there.
I think his name's Brad Voto or something.
Yes. Yeah, he does his campaign too.
Yeah. But that's all I can think of off the top of my head.
Yeah,
I have only British D&D players because they sound so good.
You're not wrong, girl.
I also have encountered several at conventions, just like out and about, like when you're in a room with hundreds of people playing D&D, especially at something like a Gen Con where it's a convention for gaming, like you'll run into people. So that's something. The hard part for us a lot of the time is what's it called? Is time zones is the big thing to try to get to play with other people. Oh, well, Star Fox in a box. They do exist. I can promise you that British D&D players exist. I'm British. I don't know anyone. Haven't seen any streams. Just bought a starter box. Listen, sometimes that's the best way to go, is just pick up a starter set and just start playing. And kudos to you if you are DMing as a first-time player. Like, kudos to being the guy who jumped on that to do that for everybody else. RC guy, who's better, Matt Mercer DM or McCree? To be honest, I think I'm gonna have to go with Matt Mercer, because McCree, like, all I can think of is like one line, and like how good he used to be when Overwatch came out, and how good he is now. I mean, I don't know if anybody. I mean, I know you play Overwatch. Your thoughts? Matt Mercer as a DM or McCree?
I would have to go with Matt Mercer, because all I can think is honey.
I mean, again, we'll toss that to Liz and Katie as well, but you know.
Sure. Yes.
Correct. Speaking of cons, who would your #1 cosplay dream be? I'm guessing that would be your dream cosplay to do yourself, is what I'm going to interpret that as. Obviously, he'll correct me if I'm wrong, but that's what we're going to say. If you could cosplay one thing and do it like perfectly, what would be your #1 thing to cosplay? Liz.
That's a harder question than your favorite video game.
That is.
Like, you have the means to make the costume, and you can make it to a point where you feel comfortable, like, this is good, this looks the way I want it to. What would you want to do?
Oof. I don't know. There's so many directions you could take here.
Yeah, I know.
You could show cosplay, you could game cosplay.
Yeah, what would you
I
do?
mean, if it was like a TV show cosplay, it'd be like Vikings, hands down. Love that fucking show. I'm obsessed with it.
Fine, I'll give you 2. You get 2. You get like TV, movie cosplay, and then like game cosplay. How about that?
Video game cosplay, I would probably do myself up like middle-aged Ezio from Assassin's Creed Revelations.
All right, very specific.
Fur, all the fur, looking like a deadly assassin.
Okay, and the TV show would be / movie would be somebody from anybody specific from Vikings, or just in that aesthetic?
Well, Alex, I have black hair, so I can't actually be anybody in that show.
I mean, this is cosplay. You can have a wig.
It is, but
Get a lace front, girl.
I can't be like Nordic no matter what I do.
Not with that attitude.
Not with that. Oh, that's my thing.
All right, so we got that. Liz, what about, or Light, I just said Liz. So Light, what about you? Like TV show, movie, and then like gaming. It can be video or tabletop or whatever.
Trying to think if there was any kind of movie.
I'm bopping along to the music. I'm not like spazzing, but I can hear it.
That's
I hope you
fine.
guys can. So
Sure.
Well, video game wise, I have to say Blood Rain.
nice, very nice.
Just love her whole outfit, and I would freaking support those freaking kick-ass boots anytime.
The blades, solid.
Oh yeah, the blades. I mean, it was sick. The movies were horrible.
Fun fact about the movie: the first Blood Rain movie, the 2 naked girls hanging around Meatloaf were actually Russian prostitutes because they were cheaper to hire than actresses. The more you know. Anyway, continue.
God, and movie?
Yeah, or TV.
I can't think of anything.
Okay. I mean, you don't have to have one. It just...
Yeah, I mean, the one thing is, I think. Oh, yeah, I can't think of anything.
Okay.
Or anything from the Game of Thrones, to be honest.
Fair.
Their costumes are awesome.
They are. The costume work on that show is phenomenal.
Yeah.
If you think of something, we'll come back before we move on, but we'll jump to Katie. What about you?
Video games, I don't really have a strong thing for anything. I guess I would do Triss Marigold because I really dig her buns. But,
I mean, you could do tabletop gaming. Like, you could pick your character or something.
Oh, yeah, then 100%. I'm already working on a Roslyn
There we
cosplay.
go.
Just wait. And then I would do a female Gambit because he's my favorite X-Men.
Yeah.
Nice.
And I feel that I could rock a trench coat, so that's a thing I got going for myself.
There you go. For me, I mean, I have a ton of cosplays that are all in various unfinished states, so that's probably where I'd go, is finishing ones that I've started. I would say for gaming, as much fun as it would be, I haven't really had... I mean, I've had like tabletop characters that I've latched onto. You know, so you guys have seen some of them on various channels that I really like. But, like, those characters, I feel like when your character stops playing, like, you stop playing as that character, like, going in, like, let me go cosplay that character, it's like, it loses something, because it's like, this is a character that I played once, that I don't play anymore, but I'm cosplay, you know what I mean? So I feel like, for a video game, I've been working on a long time, like a gunslinger Wild West version of Link. Sort of. There's some other things that have been out there, like Fistful of Rupees and some other, you know, fan films out there, but I have a very distinct, very kind of Clint Eastwood style vibe that I've been working on. I've done most of the costume, I just haven't actually gotten a chance to finish it, so that would be on my list, because that's, you know, a more canonical way to do Link with a beard. And then as far as like a movie or a video, or a movie or a TV series, I mean, I've had Iron Man armor on the list for a long time. So, like, Iron Man 2, with the triangular-shaped arc reactor, full suit of Iron Man armor would probably be mine. Light, did you think of anything else you wanted to add, or no? Are we good?
No, I mean, there's a lot of things, but I'll stick to those two.
Alright, so again, RC Guy, the question expert here in the chat. If you could be in a movie or a voice actor in a game, what would it be? Liz.
I would probably need to be an extra in, like, in a zombie movie, not The Walking Dead. one where they're actually awesome and fast. I want to, like, eat one of the main characters.
Get ready for some cardio.
Alright. Light, what about you? Movie, be in a movie or voice actor in a game?
Gosh. Me personally, I would actually like to make the movie. I would have to say probably the Lord of the Rings trilogy.
That would be cool to be in a Lord
Yeah.
of the Rings based movie.
Yeah.
Any of them, really. I would be down for that, for sure.
Yeah, it's just amazing and everything to do. So Lord of the Rings, and then of course, but and I don't know. Well, I guess it's another question, but I don't know. I've gotten so many compliments on my voice.
Voice acting, sure.
Yeah. So I guess it really depends on what game or whatever people are looking for. Voice.
Fair. Katie, what about you?
This is the easiest question I'll get all evening.
Fair.
It would hands down be Guardians of the Galaxy because Chris Pratt is single now and he's on my list.
Fair.
Done.
A solid.
Next.
All right. So for me, as much fun as it would be to be in a movie, you know, an extra, or even like, you know, or a character that has some speaking lines. Like I've often said over the years, you know, my one kind of answer was always like, I'd love to be in a Star Wars movie. Like even if I get killed off in the first scene, you're in a Star Wars movie, right? Like one of the guys in the beginning of A New Hope that gets shot like by when Vader's invading. Like you're there and you're peeking out, you shoot and you die, but like you were there. But I think after that, that was my go-to answer, but I think I'd like to voice an NPC in a video game, but like the one that you always have to go back to that has the same repetitive dialogue, so I could be that guy, you know what I mean? Like the guy that has some line that you have to hear it, unless you turn your volume off. But that way, like, I go out somewhere, people will be like, I think I've heard your voice before, and then I could say my key NPC line, and people are like, holy shit, that's you, and I'd be like, yeah, that's me. So I don't know what game it would be in. It'd either have, I would say like an MMO would probably be, like, the guy who gives you a lot of quests in, like, the beginning of your journey in the MMO, when you actually still care about what people have to say, before you're like, fuck you, just give me my shit. So, like, that, like, intro-level MMO guy. That would be mine. So, Mud Puppy, would you ever get a face tattoo, and what would it be? Liz, how about you?
Would I? Of course.
Okay, and what would it be? Nah, I'm just kidding.
No, I probably would not. I would, however, get a toe bean tattoo of teardrops if I had them. Most for all my fallen homies from the streets. But I do have a few tattoos, but not on my face. Maybe. What would you suggest?
Alright, we'll come back to that. I'm sure we'll get wonderful suggestions from the chat. Light, what about you? Face tattoo? And what would it be? No? Alright, moving on. Katie, face tattoo, what would it be? If you got one.
If I got one...
You could say no. No is an option.
No. I'm a practical girl. I would get the winged liner tattooed on.
There you go. I was going to say...
I don't have time for that in the morning every day.
Yeah, no more, No
and it's so unpredictable. You just don't know how it's gonna be today.
Exactly. Then you just kind of like, you cover up one eye with your hair because you're like, that is not the same. I gotta go.
Can't say that I would do a face tattoo. Can't really think of anything that I want on the face all the time. I mean, I guess I could do something in here and then I just cover it up with a beard, I guess, if I didn't like it. But I don't really feel like jawline tattoos are all the rage, so I probably wouldn't. Like, if I had a really splotchy patch in my beard, I'd probably get it filled in as a tattoo with, like, hair, like, and a similar line of, like, permanent makeup, but I'm pretty happy with the way my beard came in, so I'm good with that.
That's Ted basically saying he's never shaving that fucking beard.
Why would any guy shave their beard off?
I haven't. This thing's been here for 7 years. It's not going anywhere.
Keep it forever, always.
Like, the only time I've almost come to shaving it was, like, for cosplay. And it has to be a cosplay that I'm very confident in, that I'm like, I will ruin it with a beard. Alright, DJ throws out, this is a fairly simple one. Anybody watching My Hero Academia? If so, who's your favorite character?
I am. Okay. I'm not caught up, but I have been watching it. I think his name's Yuga, but he just, like, is so obsessed with himself, and it cracks me up, and he's got, like, this, like, belt thing that shoots out, like, this beautiful beam, and I just think he's really funny. But I also really like the teacher Eraserhead is pretty cool, so...
Anybody else watching My Hero Academia?
Nope.
No, me either. I've heard very good things. It's on my
really
list. Good. My Little Pony Season 7 just hit Netflix, though. So
this is better than that.
And I actually just finished watching The Defenders, like, 2 days ago. So I had to catch up on that. And I had a couple other things to catch up on. So let's see. What else? Do we have anything else in the chat? No. Alright, so we actually talked about it a little bit. How about your favorite movie? We'll go that route. We'll keep going with the favorites because these are awful questions, and it's fun to ask them to people. So, Lizzie, favorite movie?
It's so hard to be first.
Maybe one of these times we'll go in reverse. We'll go counterclockwise, and we'll get light.
Favorite movie. I watch so many movies.
Yeah. What you got?
Give me like 30.
You know what? We'll start with me. That's fine. We can start with me, and we'll go. This will be the counterclockwise. So, Katie, you're next.
That's okay. No.
Okay. So I would say mine. It's really a toss-up, but I probably, especially in recent years, I gotta go Ghostbusters. I mean, it's usually a toss-up: Ghostbusters, Evil Dead 2, but you know, I've been more in the Ghostbusters state of mind in the, you know, in the past few years. So, Ghostbusters. Katie, you're next. What do you got?
Okay, so cartoon movie. I love the movie The Road to El Dorado. I've watched it probably 100 times, and it still makes me laugh.
We've talked about that quite a bit, actually.
And then real movies. I love Young Frankenstein. I watch it every time I'm sick, and that is also always funny.
All right, Light. What about you? I know you're big on movies, so I'm sure this is difficult.
Yeah, it's so hard because it's
yeah.
You know, yeah. Okay, I'm gonna fudge. Willow.
Nice. All right.
Willow.
What is that? I've never even heard of that.
Oh my god.
Go watch Willow.
You have to watch Willow. Let's just say, I would say the top 3 real quick is Willow, Legend, and Labyrinth. No particular order, but Willow, I remember watching it as a kid, and it basically opened my eyes to the world of magic and all that stuff. So that movie I'll have to thank. And then got into the others.
I don't think it's a stretch to say Willow has, like, if you like The Princess Bride, you'll also like Willow.
Mm-hmm.
I would say they're they have a similar feel. If you haven't seen Willow, if you've seen The Princess Bride, if you like The Princess Bride, you'll probably like Willow.
Nice. The whole movie's on YouTube.
Oh, well, there you go, guys. If you haven't seen it, you can just go watch it for free on YouTube, apparently.
Yeah, it's such a good. To be honest, I actually created stories off that movie, like offshoots, like if there were to ever have a second one, I had a script idea for it, even when I was a kid. So, yeah.
All right, Liz, we gave you the time. We're back. Favorite movie?
Oh, this is still the worst question ever. I would actually maybe say The Princess Bride, like you mentioned, but I watch way too. I love so many movies of all genres, so that's like the one I've like rewatched the most times, probably.
All right, let's well, you know what? We'll stick with you, and we'll follow up with a movie-based question. What is, like, your favorite, like, guilty pleasure movie that you love, but you, like, don't want people to know that you love? You know what I mean? You know, you guys know what I'm talking about. I can see it. I can feel it. There's that movie that you're like, I love to watch this movie, but, like, I don't want anybody to know that I watch this movie. Because it's, like, whatever the reason that you don't want people to know that you love it so much.
Is that me or?
Yeah, that's you.
Oh. I watch a lot of shitty romance movies, like all the time. I can't really say one in particular. I mean, I've watched what's it called? Leap Year? It's the one with, like, it's called Leap Year, right?
Oh, I know.
I've watched that like 1,000 times, and I like get really into it, and I like cry a little, and I love him. I don't know. It's embarrassing. I would never tell anyone except for all y'all right here.
There we go. Now we know. Inside scoop, guys. Light, what about you? Favorite, like, guilty pleasure movie that you like, that, like, whether it's an unpopular opinion, like everybody hates this movie and you love it, or it's like a movie you don't like to tell people that you like, that kind of thing.
It's hard because all the movies I like, I don't think I ever not liked. No, I lied. What was that movie called?
Give me something to go off of.
I know.
I can't remember. It's I could see it. It was like I think either it was a book or a video game, and they made it. You know what? Yeah. Okay. Super Mario.
Okay. The Super Mario Brothers movie?
Yeah, I liked it. Yes, there was a couple of things that was, like, awful, like the dinos and...
I mean, basically, if you don't treat it as a Mario movie, it's actually a pretty good movie.
Exactly. I liked it.
All right, Katie.
I also just love every shitty romance movie, except for the ones from the Hallmark Channel because my mom forced that upon me for far too long. But I'd have to say top one, A Walk to Remember.
Okay.
I will just watch that and cry. Like, I will just cry. And it's every time. So I don't really watch it that much anymore. So it's not really, I don't even know if it's even pleasure at this point. It's just torture.
Pain? Just torture? Sure. Emotional
I
torture.
just watch it anyway.
All right. So, yeah, Light, that was mine. 100% Super Mario Brothers movie. A movie that I absolutely love, and everybody hates that movie. Like, it's panned as... I mean, it's the reason that Nintendo will not make movies anymore. Like, that was their foray into trying to make a movie, and it also set the bar for video game movies. And they've just... I mean, it's not a secret. They're garbage. But then again, so were comic book movies for a long time, until Marvel stepped things up with Iron Man. So perhaps, one day maybe, some director, some studio will make a video game movie, and it will be the Iron Man of the video game movies, and then everything will change. However, I don't see that happening, but one can hope. To Mud Puppy's point, yeah, Spice World, probably a close second. I love Mean Girls, but that's a fantastic movie. I don't care who you are.
That's the best movie.
So we can't say that that's
so
a guilty pleasure. It's a fantastic film. Okay. That was a pretty good one. So how about, all right, we'll keep the order because I haven't thought of one as I started to say we're going to go in reverse order. So, all right, Lizzie, how about your favorite cartoon? Let's go with a cartoon. Yeah. Sorry.
Like a current one or like a throwback from my childhood?
Ooh. Let's start with throwback from your childhood. That way I've given myself at least 2 more questions to ask in the future.
I don't know. I watched a lot of like Angry Beavers, Cat Dog, Hey Arnold.
All great. All great. What about you, Light?
You know, She-Ra.
She-Ra? Nice.
Yeah, She-Ra, He-Man. Those cartoons.
Yeah, man, I hear you.
My favorite was Dexter's Laboratory.
Oh man,
I was
good stuff.
So obsessed with that show. I loved the episode where all he knew how to say was omelette du fromage.
Yeah.
That's my favorite.
Listen, I used that in my... I mean, that and like an old Eddie Izzard skit were things that I used in my French class because they were things that I learned how to say in French. So my favorite... I'm trying to think of like my absolute favorite cartoon. I mean, obviously, and I feel like Light can agree with me on this, like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and like The Real Ghostbusters were fantastic, long-running series that were like the majority till we stopped watching cartoons. And like, again, I'm also in the era of like DuckTales and Tailspin and all of the good Nicktoons and all of the good Cartoon Network cartoons. So those are, again, He-Man, She-Ra, like all the goofball cartoons they tried to make into things. Like they tried to make the Toxic Avenger cartoon, and that was a horrible idea based on that movie. But as far as like Nicktoons go, though, like All Real Monsters I loved that freaking show. I love that show so much. And to see in like Rugrats season 8, they do a callback and have all of the Arrow monsters in the episodes. Like that's a nightmare that they're like talking about a haunted house and all of the original actors are back. It blew my mind. And I say that blew my mind. That was like 2 years ago when I watched the whole all of Rugrats on Netflix. Okay, we had before we jump into the next like current cartoon or anime or however we want to go with that. We had a question again from, what's your favorite movie or TV character, Liz?
This is similarly difficult. I mean, right now, probably Lagertha from Vikings, just because I'm like there in it right now, like Vikings is just life. But I'm sure that's not my favorite of all time. I just can't. I don't know. It's so hard.
All right, Light. What about you? TV/movie character. I'm just now comprehending how difficult a question that is as I'm
It is.
thinking about it.
Asking me like impossibles.
Mm-hmm. That's a really difficult question because that spans a lot.
Yeah.
It's hard, but it's like we could also like very easily cop out because we listed like favorite movies, so we could be like, oh, it's that character. Haha, got it.
Yeah, I mean, and the one thing is you're trying to remember like a whole bunch of stuff too, because
Literally
it's like,
everything you've ever absorbed ever.
yeah, because I don't really watch TV at the moment, and but also trying to remember all like the old, the oldies.
Yeah. Well, how about this? Do you have one character that like you've always like thought about, whether they've gone through different incarnations or through like multiple seasons or multiple movies, that you're like, yeah, man, I still, even though like this was shitty or this happened, I still really like that character? Does that help narrow down a little bit?
Yeah. One.
Also, again, yes, to RC's point, thank you again, everybody, for all the follows and everybody coming out and checking out the channel and following. This is obviously not a typical thing we do here, but we were a little bit crunched for time, trying to get everybody together. We couldn't fit everyone, and rather than try to like bullshit and try to like have a character who's got a very lead role in this group fall to the back or be played by me. Thank you, guest 14567 or 5687 for following as well. We appreciate this, guys. This should be a thing.
That's a great question.
We have a lot of questions coming in. Okay, so while you think of your favorite movie/TV character,
I got it.
Oh, you got it? What do you got?
Arya Stark.
Ooh, good pull. Yes, Arya Stark is fantastic. She is.
Yeah, I would have to say, because I read the book and of course watched everything except for the last two freaking shows. Yeah, she like grew from this little girl to who she's to who she is right now. So yeah, if they ever did a spin-off, I would be all up.
I fucking screamed the first episode of this new season.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to spoil anything, but I screamed. Literally. I was like, yes.
Yeah, I already knew what was going on. I was like, yeah.
Yeah, my favorite TV or movie character is such a difficult question because you have so many good characters out there. I think I gotta go with Ash from Evil Dead, though. He is one of my, especially because that spans 3 movies and now a 2-season television show. Ash from Evil Dead, fantastic character. Watching him go from a whiny little college boy to just an utter badass. It's great. So we had a question from Katie. Favorite Doctor and companion combination. So.
For me, it's Ten and Donna forever.
Ooh, good. Yeah. All right. Fair.
That is really good. Agreed. I'll always love Rose and David Tennant. I can't.
Yeah. I gotta give Rose and David Tennant. I mean, although I did see a Rose and Christopher Eccleston in the chat, and I don't disagree with that.
Yeah. For me, Rose, I liked her, but like there were times when she got a little bit too like Daphne from Scooby-Doo for me. Like where she would get captured and I was just like, come on, Rose, get it together. But like I did like her like ultimately.
All right, what about you? Like, are you Doctor Who? I think you're a Doctor Who fan.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you got?
I just haven't seen like the last season.
Me either, so.
It's It's one of those things. I would just say, well, Rose and Dave and Ten. Rose with Crystal. Just that whole storyline in itself was just, it was awesome to see. Even where her character went, and then of course Doc Who's character, of course, each changed. But yeah, I like that.
I think what I like most about Donna and Ten together was that, like, you had Rose who is in love with him, and then you have Martha who has feelings for him, and then you get Donna when, like, people will be like, "Oh, so you and the doctor?" She's like, "Ew, no, he's skinny." Like, ugh, no thanks. I loved that.
I with you though. She was like one of my favorite companions.
Yeah, maybe I'll change it and won't say like Rose and 10. I'll be like 10 and Mickey the Idiot. There you go. That's my combo.
I did love them. They were great. I loved their dynamic in the end.
I will say, if you guys do like David Tennant as the Doctor, I highly recommend, if you can find it via Audible or some other way. There are several. He did several like radio dramas where they're like him narrating at like basically adventures of the Doctor. He's doing all the narration and all of the voices, and I have one that I listen to where he goes on an adventure to like ancient Greece or Rome, but it's him, Mickey, Rose, and Jackie Tyler. So he does the voices of, he's the narrator in his typical, Scottish brogue, but then he's also the voice of the Doctor, but he does a Jackie and a Rose and a Mickey, and it's hilarious.
You have to send me that.
I will see if I can find the name of it. There's a couple out there. And then I guess if I had to make a fantasy one, it would probably be 9 and Donna, because I think that would be amazing. It's just smart
that
for
would
days.
Be so good.
Nothing would get done because they would just outsass each other till something happened. Also, thank you Everfree Mares for the follow. Fellow Pony fan, I'm going to guess based on the name, for jumping in and liking this as well. Alright, that was some good answer. Oh, favorite character in a game, Liz, we have again from RC Guy, the question generator here. Favorite game character?
I hate to go back to Assassin's Creed again because it's a shit series. Like, seriously, it got so bad, and I hate to sound trite, but I loved that. I loved those early games, and Ezio in Assassin's Creed 2 and the follow-ups, Brotherhood and Revelations, in my opinion, was the most well-developed character I've ever played. I was invested beyond belief. I grew up. I was him as a teenager, and then I was him as a middle-aged man, and I had like little minions, and it was just really important.
It seems like there's a deep connection there. I can tell.
It was just good. No one likes those games either. No one likes Revelations. It's my favorite of the whole thing. So.
Well, all right. Well, again, the inside track, guys. Like, what about you? Favorite game character?
I think Liz might talk, but it was Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
I only played like the first 3, but there was something with that game. It actually opened many doors. I wouldn't mind watching the movie. But yeah, that was like my go-to kind of thing too, just to sit there and figure out the little puzzles and go assassinate people. So, yeah.
Katie?
I liked Iron Bull from Dragon Age Inquisition.
Okay.
And to elaborate on that, I also, if you pick a travel party and you do Iron Bull, Dorian, and Sarah, I called them my queer squad because they were all queer in some way or another, but their like background banter is so fucking funny all the time. Like, play the game, suit up with them, it is so funny.
Favorite game character? See, that's a good one for me because a lot of the games that I really like, the protagonist is the quintessential RPG protagonist who doesn't talk. So they're not a good character. They don't have any character development. Like Link. Cool character, great adventure. Freaking useless as Yeah, that's the time that he ran away and didn't say anything. Remember that time he looked stoic and didn't say anything? Ah, great character. Again, love the games, but I'm trying to think of like a character that I really like connected with. Maybe Commander Shepard in Mass Effect 2, I'd say, is a pretty good one for me. I mean, I love the Mass Effect series. The ending of 3 we could talk about for days. Bubbernot, what's up? Thank you, sir. If one of these days we're gonna sync up in person and hang out. Probably PAX Unplugged. Fingers crossed if you're gonna be there. But yeah, I guess Commander Shepard Mass Effect 2. He's like, he's got a lot going on there. He's probably one of my favorite game characters. That, like, again, that is a character, not like Gino from Super Mario RPG is great, but he's a puppet and he goes away at the end and he never comes back. Okay, sequel, Liz. Sequel to a video game that didn't have one that you'd love to see a sequel made to it. What you got?
I mean, it's still like a little early for this one. Like, there might be a sequel. I don't know if there really has to be a sequel. I just really enjoyed it and I beat it. I really like Shadow of Mordor.
Oh, there's a sequel coming out in 2 weeks.
Yeah?
Yeah. Congratulations! Your
All
game
right.
has been granted. It's called
Good,
Shadow
some people
of War. It comes out in like 2 weeks.
Some people agreed that they needed to have one. Cool. I've been disconnected for a little while, right? Yeah, that was an amazing game.
Yeah, fantastic. Sequel comes out. There's a crazy Uber edition. If you spend $300, they got a Nazgul fighting a dragon statue. I won't be at TwitchCon, Bub, so that sucks, but we'll sync up at one of these conventions for sure. Light, what about you? Game you wish had a sequel but doesn't?
That's hard. So I think all the games I have, they either have sequels or they ended well.
World of Warcraft 2.
That's always been like up in the air. My friend would be like, yeah, that game.
Dungeons and Dragons 5.5 edition.
Right?
Have mercy.
I think 5e is sticking around for a while, based on what I've heard.
You know, I'll say Warcraft.
Yeah, really?
Be interesting, yeah, to see, because there's always been like that rumor that they're supposed to have a second one that's coming out, which is, to me, it's kind of weird because, you know, everything's going down right now, which I haven't played. I haven't been playing for like 6-7 months now, but I've been kind of keeping up. But I'd be kind of curious on what they would go this time around.
I think it'd have to be a time jump. I mean, I know the expansions have altered the world, but I guess you'd have to do like either like a prequel style thing or like go way into the future or something, right? I mean,
yeah,
hard to do an MMO
to me,
sequel, you know.
Yeah, I actually had when I was in college, I did a game, I guess an expansion idea, and the funny part is when I did it, everybody loved it, and all of a sudden, kind of saw part of it in one of the expansions. But I still wouldn't mind submitting the idea to see.
Okay. Well, I mean, you know, it's hard to say with an MMO. Sometimes they do that, though, where they just can it and make a new one. I mean, Guild Wars and Guild Wars 2 is obviously a poor example, because Guild Wars 1 is barely an MMO in the true sense of the MMO that it is. I mean, there were other people, and you could play online with a lot of people, but it was more of a story game that you play through with people, and like Guild Wars 2 is more of a traditional MMO. Katie, what about you? Game that should get a sequel that didn't?
I don't really have anything specifically. There is a game that I'm excited for the sequel to come out. I really liked playing Life is Strange, and they actually just put out a prequel for it. But they did say that they're working on a sequel, and I'm super excited for that.
Okay, for me,
Oh, I just remembered.
well, let me give you mine, and it may change yours, who knows. But I would say, if I had to get a sequel, I want Super Mario RPG 2. I don't want Paper Mario, The Thousand Year Door, Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga. I want Mario RPG 2. I want my Geno back in the game. I want Malo. I want that whole freaking storyline continued on. I don't care what happens, but give me a true, legitimate sequel to Super Mario RPG. Mario. Katie, get out of here. I'm going to change it up every time now. Mario.
Bye.
Get out of here. So, what about, you said you had something that you wanted to maybe change?
Yeah. Wolf Among Us.
Oh,
It's a Telltale series.
Sure.
Absolutely love the first game. If you have not played it, you guys gotta play it. And I keep hearing rumors they're having a second one. Not sure, but that has to be second.
I heard those comics were super good.
Oh my god, that game just blew me away.
Yeah, that is a really good one.
Really, Mud Puppy, how can you hate Geno? Geno is one of the best characters in that whole game. Somebody, Hypertroller says there maybe was a sequel to Wolf Among Us?
I'm looking.
Yeah, by the way, if you guys, again, anybody has questions other than RC Guy, we appreciate all his questions. But you guys can obviously ask us questions about us, about games that we like, these kind of favorite this, favorite that stuff. You can also ask us things about Dungeons & Dragons and what the channel is normally about and the show is typically about. Again, things we can't reveal, we won't reveal. But that's, yeah. Alright, how about a sequel movie then? Okay, so I got a couple good ones coming up there. Now, Jerem, you can, we can reserve ourselves to not answer questions. We'll just leave it at that. So, Lizzie, about a sequel to a movie you wish that there was a sequel to that didn't get one? Which is a tricky question, because you never know.
All these questions are so tricky. Leap Year 2. I'm just kidding.
It takes place 4 years later.
I feel like all the movies deserve sequels, got them. I don't really like sequels usually, no matter how much I love the original. So I can't think of any.
Okay. Light, what about you? A movie with a sequel that you wish had one that didn't.
Willow.
Fair. Good answer, Willow. Alright. Katie, what about you?
Okay, this is totally random, and I didn't even like the movie that much, even though it won an Oscar. But that movie, Moonlight, I watched that, and it had, like, that artsy ending, where, like, it implies something by putting, like, you know, a little capture of something else, and you're supposed to, like, interpret it how you want. But I was like, fuck that! I need to know what happens to this guy. You got me so invested, and now you're just giving me this shit. I was so mad at the end of that movie, like, genuinely pissed off. So that movie, even though, like I said, I didn't even like it that much.
Again, I'll say it before, even though we talked about it and a lot of people don't like it. Give me the cliffhangered sequel that they promised at the end of the Super Mario Brothers movie. Give me that sequel.
One too.
I want it. It's so bad and it doesn't deserve to be made, but I want it. Give me that. This one maybe is not a question that may or may not get answered depending on who's on the stream or not, or if anybody could be involved, but worst DM you've ever had. Worst Dungeon Master, RPG, Game Director, Game Master you've ever had. Lizzie's only had me, so she's not going to answer. We're going to move on to Light. I mean, she can answer that it's me, but that's fine. Light, what about you?
It's you.
Oh, man.
Kidding.
Fine.
I don't know,
Rock's
I am
fault.
too.
Everybody dies.
Yeah, see? Darn.
Do you see? That's what happens. I mean, if you don't have a story or an example, you don't have to add one, or you don't want to hurt potentially someone's feelings who may watch the channel. That's also a viable thing, but if you have a glaring option, you can go ahead and do that.
None.
Katie?
I've never like had anybody that like I super like hated everything about what they did, but I did have like some instances, I think in like my second DM, where like he was just so nitpicky about like every single detail of how you executed something, and like the amount of time that it would take to sift through sand to find a key based on the amount of sand inside the area. What was the volume? Like I felt like I was doing fucking geometry and like algebra while I was playing, and I was like, listen, you're already making me do math here, like for basic rules. That's not for me. Well, please cease and desist. But I mean, he was great, everything else. But every now and then I was just like, you fucking stop.
I had, it would probably be my friend Hedge from middle school, who was just a vindictive jerk as a DM. Because, I mean, I love him to death, but I feel like he thought that it was him versus us, and he needed to win as the dungeon master.
I hate that.
And the way you win is you kill everybody else. You kill the party is how you win, and the way they win is they survive. And that led to me making characters that were permanently designed to break the game and ruin his day. Because when I rolled my 5th character in a campaign we played for 2 years, I said, this time, the gloves are off. It's time to make a character that does so much damage that it will just ruin your day. Listen, he may watch it, and that's fine. He knows that I love him, and I make fun of him for that all the time. Not today, Satan. So anyway... Let's see. I've had a lot of good DMs. I've had some mediocre, DMs that I could take or leave. But he was, and I'm gonna rant a little bit more. He specifically I told him, like, I'd be like, hey, can I play this character? It's a class that exists. Can I play it? And he told me, no, there was no way I could play that class without being evil. And then 3 years later, when I ran a game for him, and he asked if he could play that same character that I basically just had asked him 3 years ago. And I love him to death, and it wasn't vindictive, because dude just forgets everything. So, like, he legitimately asked if he could play the same character, and I was like, yeah, of course you can, and he just didn't get it. And this is a guy that when we were going to play a Marvel RPG, he made a character that could fly around on, like, metal things and shoot electricity from his fingers, and had control over electricity, and he was like so proud of himself when he thought up his character's name as Static Shock. And I said, you do know that, and he's like, and I don't know why, but like I feel like you should have dreads, like that should be. And I was like,
Lord of mercy.
And I was like, we used to watch the Static Shock cartoon at my parents' house, and he just didn't remember that at all. Thought he was the most original guy in the world when he thought that up.
Which, side note, great show.
Great show. Fantastic show. Only time I've ever wanted to be, like, at that point in my life, like, I'd rather have been his friend with the cool, like, mind powers to make shit rather than, like, the main hero. Alright, we got a couple things in here. So, just a random thought. What would you think about if movies had alternate endings that you needed to pay to buy the alternate endings? Like alternate DLCs for a game?
100%.
Would you be into that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't buy movies, though.
Alright. Light, what about you?
I guess it would depend on the movie.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to say because, like, things end one way when you have, like, a regular movie. Like, okay, that's what happened. whether or not you like it, but you're like, oh, but did you see the alternate ending that I paid $5 for? I don't know. Oh, God, so many things. Alias Veronica. There you go. So I saw a question that said, what's your favorite thing to do that's not like game and or movie related, like your favorite hobby? Liz, what about you?
I really like murder. So
Oh, okay.
Not
Can somebody
like
clip that,
committing murder.
please?
Okay, now the FBI is really on their way. Holy shit. I don't commit interstate murders. I am just really
totally trustworthily.
I am really interested in murder, and most of the time I'm watching things about it. And I recently
sure, committing
have
it seems like the next logical step. Sure.
I'm also have recently really gotten into antiquing.
Oh, okay. Much more.
And I
wow. Okay.
okay. Except that I antique weird shit too, and I have started collecting death portraits. I have a lot. And other historical war-ish things.
Okay. Blake, what about you? Outside of gaming and movies. I mean, murder apparently is an option, but probably not what I would suggest.
Right. Well, I always have stories in my head. I'm always thinking of stuff. So it's just one of those things. That or drawing.
Okay. Much more tame.
Yeah.
Katie, what about you?
What don't I do? Like, I just do so much. Like, nobody would ever call me lazy or like, I
Totally
just do so
not
much.
at all an option. Currently singing as you are potentially 1 to 2 of the Spice Girls.
No, I also like to antique. And then as well, I do some painting and I like to cook a lot. But that doesn't happen a lot because alternatively, I hate cleaning. So there you go.
My absolute favorite thing to do that's not gaming related is fishing. So that would be mine. I'm also a big fan of eating and sleeping. Those are on the top of my list. So yeah, that's that.
Those are good choices, minus the first one.
Yeah, well, you're entitled to your opinion.
Thank you.
But at least it's not murder.
I still love the Hypertroller. Got a clip of Liz saying, I really like murder.
Clips. What a wonderful thing that Twitch added for us to permanently immortalize moments like that for the internet to look back on, / the FBI to look back on as well. Okay. What other questions? Do you guys have any questions? How about that? The three of you. Questions that you want to throw out to me and or the group. Things you want to know.
Yes. Can I automatically be level 20, please?
Maybe.
That's a good question.
But then it won't be any fun.
For who? I'll have fun.
Will you, though, if everything isn't a challenge?
Yeah.
Yeah, you think? I mean,
I do.
We haven't actually played anything with the ridiculous amount of magic items you have. See how that is before you decide you want to jump ahead 15 levels. You're muted.
Oh, I'm clicking the wrong button. My favorite thing is the role play. So if I can just obliterate them and then go back to eating pie and taking baths, okay.
So forget everything else. You just want to have pie and take baths.
Yeah, and have character progression, of
Gotcha.
course. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Thank you, RC guy. That's a great question.
Well, at that point, you are basically a god, so I guess, you know.
Great.
Sure.
All hail Roswin, the kind and benevolent.
Sure.
Those are synonyms. That was kind of redundant. Move on.
So that was a question that was asked. The answer is probably no.
Oh.
I didn't say definitely no. I said probably. Also, now we know that Liz's favorite hobby is murder, and she's playing a rogue who likes to murder people. Funny how art imitates life.
I don't kill, I just cripple.
Oh, so you're changing it up a little bit. I see.
I have a question for the stream.
Oh.
If I had to murder you,
my God.
how would you like me to do it?
Well, that's gonna turn up some answers you don't want. I have a feeling.
I want this to be insanely badass, so I would like for your first move to just be a slice straight through Roswin's horns, and then grab them both and just like dual wield stab her in the heart.
Wow.
You thought about that, didn't you?
Yeah, that's gonna say
That's the first thing that came to mind.
You saw it happening.
Wow.
Light, did you have any other potentially normal questions to ask? Reasonable requests and or...
I don't think I have any questions because I've just been asking all the questions.
Yeah, no, it's fair. You know, I just, like I said, I figured I'd throw it out there. And again, to those of you guys that are in the chat, both from the start and from, you know, new people here that have joined, if you have any questions for me or the ladies, whether they be D&D related, real life related, we've got a lot of real life, personal opinion related questions. You know what? I have a question, and you obviously don't have to ask questions to the entire group. You can ask questions to a singular person if you so choose. So, Liz, let me ask you a question then. I know you've only played D&D for a little bit, and I know the answer for some of the other people here, but would you ever think, maybe if you had some more time to think about it, would you ever think about DMing? Would you ever think about running a game for other people to play?
Whoa.
Yeah.
You know, I have to really study because I don't know how y'all do it. It's really hard. It looks really hard. You need to know the rules. I need to do some math. I'm not really good at doing math on the spot.
I mean, that's the beauty of being the dungeon master. You just kind of tell us what happens.
True. But even, I don't know, it's a little... Even saying it hit, I'm not... it's gonna take me a minute. But no, I maybe I would one day, but I have a lot of respect for DMs because I think it looks really hard. And Ted is the best DM ever that ever lived.
Clown nosing. You could be level 20. Just kidding.
Wow.
You're muted, Katie, so I can't hear your rage.
That's okay. It was a lot of cussing. Not
Yeah.
appropriate.
Well, I know that. Well, you've been DMing offline with some folks, right, Katie? Is that still going on?
No, it stopped because one of my players got hit by a car, like not in a car, and then hit by another car subsequently. So that kind of came to, he's okay. He's fine. And he makes fun of it now. Like, he's like sending people copies of like that Frogger game. He's like, I need to play this more. Like, but no, so we stopped, and I don't know when we're gonna start up again because everybody seems to be having their own things. But it was fun for a while. They were all chaotic, neutral, verging on evil, so that was interesting for me.
Sure, I bet. Very different than I think it was Liz driving. Oh, man.
Maybe she did move closer to me.
It's all, see, She left the
It's all
state for
coming together.
reasons. Now we know why. All right. Yeah. So, would you ever consider? I mean, you did it, for a short period. Would you ever consider DMing again, or are you feel you're more on the player side of things?
I feel like from that, I probably would have enjoyed it more the longer that I did it, the more used to it I got. From what I've done, I do enjoy being a player more than a DM, but I don't know. I was thinking of doing like a casual game with some of my other friends, like Laura and a couple of my other offline friends. So I don't know. We'll see. I probably wouldn't stream it.
Okay. And Light, would you ever? I mean, well, actually, let's ask you that in general. Do you prefer DMing or do you prefer playing, as a general rule?
It depends.
It's a good,
right now
solid
I'm enjoying
answer.
playing.
It
Yeah.
depends on the DM a lot of the time, I feel. I can honestly say, having not been a DM for a long time, just, having left that scene, basically, to let other people take a couple spins in the DM's chair and played in several other games, I do enjoy DMing more because, it was for a long time, it was like, oh, poor me, poor Ted, I've only DM'd for 12 years. Poor me, I never get to play, nobody loves me, I always have to make the games up. And then, now I'm like, I like playing, I like making stuff up for other people, because I like getting the enjoyment of watching people's faces as oh, shit, what? What is happening? There's a dead beholder in the back of this caravan? What? Or gifting somebody or watching their character get that thing that they wanted. Yes, RC guy, it's a dentist toothpick. I've been sitting here, just, I don't have a fidget spinner because I'm not hip like all you kids, so I use a dentist's pick. I use that for picking away things at 3D printed minis to remove the excess flash from within the minis. This guy's a little were shark, he's got a little trident. He's gonna get some paint tomorrow, I think. This guy this is a bear with sharks for arms, quality things you need to have in all of your D&D games.
I hope we fight that.
It's an undead shark and bear. I will put this in the game.
Yes.
So at some point, be on the lookout for undead bears with sharks for arms.
I hope that it's not it doesn't make any sense when it shows up. It's just oh, you guys are in an inn, and then you guys walk out the next morning and
Hey
shark and
guys.
bear.
What's going on? You guys okay? You guys having a good time? I'm just, doing my thing. Life's rough, but I'm bearing it.
Oh yeah, that was good.
Anyway. Okay. Some people said that I can make stuff up for them. Listen, I'm in the process of trying to narrow down some stuff. Thank you again for 24/7 for the follow. Are the Belladonnas the one? For the Belladonnas, was I asking about fairy tales and that kind of ideas? No, it wasn't. I just was curious. That may come out in a future game. It may be the Belladonnas, it may not. I like messing around with that kind of stuff, so you never know where that'll show up. Occasionally I'll just ask people that are in part of the Nerd Immersion community for ideas. They may show up in a game, or it may just be to throw the other people that watch those chats off, that they may think things are happening. Thank you for linking the Discord, by the way, Katie. I am planning to try and attempt, again, timing, as we discussed, is difficult, to try to do one-shots of in D&D, but also in various other systems, as we talked about, like Pugmire and other things, like a one-shot weekend, 3-hour, game, or to help some of you guys out there that are like, hey, I never get to play in any games, but I show up and I support the channel and I donate and all that stuff, and I can be like, cool, I'm gonna do a viewer one-shot. You guys make some characters. And then that way I can also find out if you're total weirdos. If I ever want to come up with another full-blown campaign and I need people to play, I won't grab people that are just freaking weird, I can be like, hey, you can do a one-shot, and then if you're cool, I'll be like, hey, we're running a campaign. Let's see. Alright, so that was, again, anybody in the chat. We seem to have a fair amount of people. Some people haven't spoken up. Some people have been the entire time, which is awesome. If you have questions for the girls, for me, about the game, about us in real life, or any of that stuff. No, it'll still be a 2-week break. We'll be playing on the 18th, will be the next, it is a 1-week break, yeah. So we'll be playing on the 18th is the next game. We'll be back with a full-blown, hopefully the entire cast, and they can hopefully, maybe, finish this goddamn caravan ride to Waterdeep, so we can move on with the story.
I think all of our bodies are ready at this point.
I could have sped this along. We didn't have to do everything, but it makes it feel like the adventure is longer, and it also lets both both Mir and Odella, who are new characters, get character development and time to help form a cohesive group.
They'll never catch me. Don't worry. He's really worried I'm gonna be in jail, but I hid all the evidence really well.
They'll never catch me, says the woman who said she liked murder on the internet.
Yeah. We did, actually, this works out pretty well. This also helped you guys, because at some point in the near future, I'm hoping to film a short video when we do our breaks to play over that, a quick, 2-minute Q&A with everybody about the players, and then as well about their characters, so that you guys can get a little something, so it's not just hey, we're going to take a quick break. I'll put a countdown timer, too, so it won't just be we're going to take a break, and that break is 5 minutes sometimes and 25 minutes another time. Because... consistency is key. Yes, she's gonna try to stay out of jail. Hopefully not, follow through on her claims of murder. Let's see. What other things do I have? I mean, we've been going for a little while here with no break. So, no more D&D here, just Q&As. Listen, I love doing Q&As and interviews. So I used to do a podcast way back in the day because I love doing that kind of stuff. I met a lot of cool people that way. I've been trying to start a new podcast recently about what I haven't decided, and when I haven't decided, and with whom I haven't decided. So basically I have nothing. But, that's a thing that may happen. It's just that the breakdown now is, do I do it about just a D&D podcast, or do I just do a general nerdy podcast? I don't know. And then who do I get to be my constant, consistent co-host? And then who guests in and out, because that's the problem with a lot of these things.
You should do it in 10 years and put Wesley as your co-host.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I mean, I could do that. Quantum Physics podcast, huh? With me and a sock puppet. I could do it. I would do it. Listen, I used to do a lot of podcasts. My podcast ended up being just me because everybody wouldn't be able to make it. So I'd be like, hey guys, it's just me. Picture of me on the Twitch chat as I talk to you doing my podcast. Just me, nobody else. Want to listen to me talk for an hour? You don't have any other options.
Okay, here's my other suggestion.
Okay.
Buffy.
Podcast with Buffy.
Yeah, I'd watch that.
Just put her in a chair next to me and hold the mic in front of a dog and just be like, so Buff, what do you think about that?
And then I would just go, oh, little puppy.
One IRL guys, internet girls, just everybody, just me. So what you're saying, RC, is me, Liz, Laura, Katie, Light, Jake, Pat, Sean, and Celine all together doing one massive Q&A. That would be banana. Just one question that goes to everybody will take forever. It's got to go around 8 people. Okay. So Liz, we heard that the ghosts in your new house are doing good. They're keeping quiet.
Yeah, it's been all quiet in my house, but yeah, I'm a little concerned about what bringing postmortem photos into my home will do, but we'll see.
Smudge.
I live in a really creepy house right now. It's big and empty.
Your problems are something that I'd never have to think about ever.
I'm hopeful it won't cause any unrest.
Hyper, or was it RC? RC, you asked about the scavenger hunt. Claire has decided to do a write-up for the website on the scavenger hunt. That write-up may turn into a video interview because she probably will follow through more with a video than she will with an actual article. But yeah, we'll go through everything that happened with the anniversary scavenger hunt. So I think we're probably gonna bring this to an end because we've been talking for just shy of 2 hours at this point, with no break. So again, thank you everybody for all of the follows. I don't know why my notifications haven't been going off all the time, but it is what it is. If you guys have any last minute questions you want to throw out there, Q&A stream where Liz gets out a Ouija board and asks all the ghosts in her house questions.
That is an inspired idea as well.
I mean, I will hook you up with streaming rights for the channel if you want to stream you using a Ouija board to ask the ghosts in your house questions. I mean, I'm all for that.
Does anyone want to come over? Or are you too chicken?
I mean, are you asking me to come over and... I mean...
Well, we have a high concentration of belladonnas here in the Midwest.
That's true.
We should have a meetup. And then we'll bring along a little phone with Discord hooked up on it for like, cause she's so fucking far away. You should live closer to us. Move.
Right?
Listen, I'm just saying I was at Gen Con. I was in Indianapolis. That's about as close as you're gonna get me. Also, Liz, next in a couple weeks is Gamehole Con. I think that's in Madison, Wisconsin.
It is.
It is a D&D, big D&D RPG convention.
Ooh.
So that may be something to look into. It's the weekend. Be 2 weekends before Thanksgiving, I think. So that's a big one. You want to go see some real nerds. The D&D team is going to be there.
Yes.
I'll have to send you some business cards in the mail. You can hand them out.
You're not going? What the hell?
So I see some new. They're just a drag. Indianapolis, Illinois was Gen Con. Dragon Con just happened. That's in Atlanta. But yeah, Gen Con was a blast. That was a big gaming convention. We could have totally played D&D in person. It would have been a thing. Could have been a thing. So again, thank you Star Fox in a Box for coming and checking this out all the way from across the pond. To give you guys an update just on what's going on before we close this out. So last chance as I give my little spiel. If you guys want to throw in any other questions, now's the chance to do it. Tomorrow night, we're going to start a little bit late for Continuum episode number 3, which is the in-person game behind me. They're on this boat right here as we speak. The boat currently is being assaulted by enough bees to blot out the sun, and they found out that they're not bees, they're actually wasps, so they're even worse.
No, that's my literal nightmare.
Yeah, so enough to block out the sun. Wasps are assaulting the boat. They can see the shoreline of the city of Charms where they're heading right there. Indianapolis is in Indiana, Illinois, whatever. They're all the same. They're all I-states. I lumped them all together. So that will be tomorrow. However, that's going to start late, about 9:30, because GameStop is doing an early opening for Destiny 2, which comes out September 6th, but they're doing a 9 p.m. rather than a midnight opening. So I'm going to be filming, potentially streaming an unboxing video from the GameStop, as I have the super crazy collector's edition with the messenger bag with the solar panels on it and all that. So they want me to do an unboxing in the store, so I'm going to do that. So what is Continuum, Hypertroller? I'm glad you asked. I think I could post I think I actually have a link for that. Let's see. Do I? Maybe I can answer your question with a conveniently placed link. I can! Hello! How about that? Continuum is a continuation of the game where the party TPK'd last September, basically right after the 24-hour stream. This is a continuation of that campaign, but with NPCs from that world. They're finishing the story, trying to make their way to Flavortown. See what goes on. Why can't people leave Flavortown? We'll find out, maybe, if they don't die by a bunch of bees. That will be happening, and then It Builds Character will be back this Wednesday at 10 p.m. I'm building Iron Man in D&D 5e. Come see how I build Tony Stark and Iron Man, and then immediately after that we'll be jumping over to go check out the Venture Maidens stream. I have off this entire week, so expect a lot of Destiny 2 streaming during the day. So if you guys play Destiny 2 and have it on Xbox, hit me up, because I'll be playing Destiny 2 with you guys. So, yeah. I think that's pretty much it. I didn't actually see any other questions, just a lot of comments about ghosts in Liz's house. So that's cool. There we go. Okay, so anyway, guys, I think we're going to bring this to an end for realsies. Does anybody have anything else they want to throw out there? Things they want to promote, stuff they want to say, comments about unaliving people, things of that nature? Liz, we'll start with you.
What was the question?
You know, did you have anything you wanted to promote, talk about, feelings about removing life from people's bodies, things of that nature?
Actually, I did think of one ghostly thing that happened that I'll leave you with, and you can figure out what it means to you. I'm a skeptic. I don't really believe in ghosts. That's why I collect pictures of dead people. Otherwise, I would not. But I was in my garage with an automated door, and I was opening it. I closed it. I can just come home. I closed the automatic door. It's on a button that I was not pressing. And the door opened again, and the light that just comes on automatically went tick, 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 and turned on and off for like a minute. Maybe ghosts. I don't know.
For me, I usually just think that something got in the way of the sensor.
Something crazy happened. I don't know.
No, probably ghosts.
Probably ghosts. Alright, Light, what about you? Things to promote, stuff going on that you want to discuss, or, you know, talk about ghosts?
I have ghost stories, but that take like another session. No, I'm hoping to get back into streaming soon. I've been away too long. I finally got over the stupid cough I've had. But in October, I'm definitely going to do like a month of scary games in October.
Sweet.
So that will be up for grabs in October. Yeah, I think that's basically it.
Okay, sweet. And again, in November, guys, we're going to be doing our 24-hour online stream, but I'm not going to cut Katie off to let her have a chance to talk about her stuff. So, Katie, anything you want to talk about?
I don't got stuff. Go on.
Wow, okay. Well, there you go. Yeah, it looks like probably the first weekend in November. I'm nailing that down. That's the weekend that the Dungeons & Dragons team is doing their 24-hour stream, or their charity stream for Extra Life, but now it's only a 12-hour stream. It was 24 for many years. It was 48 hours one year. Now it's only 12 hours. But if you donate to their stream, it goes to the Extra Life team for D&D, which is awesome. But the higher donations they get, they give us cool previews of new content from like Xanathar's Guide before it comes out. So we can get like the Tomb of Annihilation stuff. We can get a new subclass, new wizard spells, the table of contents for the new book, that kind of stuff. So also, yeah, Katie, get on that. We heard all about how Katie's all about the. That's why she is posh / baby spice Katie, because of just, I mean. Fantastic. It looks great.
I'm working it today.
For reals. So yeah, and if you guys are going to be at HasCon in Providence, Rhode Island this coming weekend, where it's Hasbro's first ever convention, I will be there playing D&D as well as doing media interviews and things of that nature. So if you have questions for folks on the Magic the Gathering team, I have an exclusive interview and demo set with them, as well as people, if you guys love Transformers and have questions for the Transformers team, I'll be meeting with them, as well as the folks behind My Little Pony and Nerf and Dungeons & Dragons. So good questions for that. Be on the lookout. I'll be recording a bunch of videos, possibly streaming from there. They do have a lounge set up for us media folks. Then the following weekend is our 24-hour in-person stream of Tomb of Annihilation, which it will just be coming out for the general populace on, I think, the 18th or 19th. So the weekend before it comes out for everybody, we'll be playing it here. And then we'll have the Belladonna's coming back. Every Wednesday is It Builds Character. Tuesday is Continuum, which will roll, I think, into Jake month, possibly, where we just play Jake game for a month, because you guys love our channel and keep following. So yeah, and again, I'll do reviews of all the new books when they come out as well. So anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed this Q&A. Apparently, a lot of you did. A lot of viewers, a lot of people asking questions, people saying that this should be a permanent thing on the channel. I guess we'll see. You never know. Probably not, but maybe. I'm not going to rule anything out. If you guys love it enough, there's always a chance I can get these people to come back and talk about themselves and murder and ghosts. Cats, hair on fleek.
Yes, can we just have a whole Q&A about cats? I'd be down. Do you guys have
I could
questions?
talk about cats for a really long time.
Yeah, like
I could fill 2 hours about cats.
Yeah, I have cats. I had cats.
yeah. If you have any questions about our cats, please let us know.
Yes, and if you
They're
guys
in
are watching
abundance.
this on YouTube, please leave your comments in the comments below, and we will come back and I will get the answers, or we'll use them for the next Q&A video. How about that? You can also hit us up on most of the social medias, and again, we will link the Discord one last time, as most of us are there, and we'll answer questions and chat with you guys in our Discord server as well. That's also in the link of the video descriptions. So, and Guild Wars 2 Path of Fire comes out. I'm taking that day off too. I'll be streaming that all day. So be on the lookout when that comes out later this month. And Pokemon as well. I won't be streaming it, but I'll be playing. What up? We'll have to swap friend codes and everything. Internet. Yeah! Alright, that's a good outro. Maybe.